One thing that kind of surprises me about the industry these days is that they don't really cater to the lone wolf player anymore. And if you played scenario games or any kind of a walk-on game, you probably know the kind of guy I'm talking about. He shows up to the field alone, he doesn't really hang out with anybody there. He's on the field, he's just kind of doing his own thing, but if you say to him, hey, the objective is we got to get to that flag station, we got 20 minutes to do it, he'll say, I'll meet you guys there. The sport has always been team-oriented, but there was always something for that lone wolf guy, and the industry understood that, and they used to kind of cater to this player. And it really shouldn't surprise you to find out that I am that player. The problem is that it's not that I don't like people. I mean, I really do, but I just don't trust y'all. In a significant majority of the time, if you put me in a group of people, odds are it's somebody else that's going to get me shot, not my own stupidity. Well, for the most part, anyway. So it's with that in mind that I introduced this story. This takes place back in the mid-90s. I forget exactly what year it was, but we're playing this scenario game in Wisconsin. And they opened up the entire field for the scenario game, too. So, I mean, they had all the flag stations. It was a big field. I mean, a lot of fun to play. So this particular mission was we had to go from our flag station, sweep across the field, get to a different place, grab something, and then bring it back. And we had more than enough people to actually get the job done. So I'm kind of hanging in the back, figuring, you know, if something starts to go bad, I can just jump into the fight this way, or I can, you know, adjust, do whatever. And my decision was not a bad one. So I'm standing in the back and I'm just kind of observing the situation, what's going on in front of me, and I hear gunshots from behind me. Oh, okay, they're attacking our fort. Okay, these guys got this under control. I'm going this way. And the whole time I know I was making the dumb mistakes, because it was one of those, I don't even care at this point, because I just want to get there fast. So I'm taking the trails, I'm moving relatively fast. All of the mistakes that people say are really bad to do, but they do work occasionally. And I get to a point where I'm about 50 feet away from where there's a big road kind of clearing thing, and that's where people usually stop, and that's where I see it. There's about 5 guys who are attacking our fort, and there's 2 guys in our fort. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm reinforced. So what are my options? Well, I can just start shooting them from right here, but I might get 1, maybe 2 of them, but then they're going to turn around and they're just going to light me up. Because I find one thing that happens is when people panic, when they realize that there's people behind them, they'll just start turning and shooting without ever actually stopping pulling the trigger. So they'll get hit like 20, 30, 50, 100 times by each guy. Not that I'm bitter or anything. So I figure the best way to handle this situation is through stealth. They haven't found me, they haven't acknowledged me, so obviously they're so focused on getting our flag station that they're not looking behind them. Okay, that's fine. So I start doing the stalk to get to their back guy. Now I'm shooting my Piranha long barrel, and I'm not stupid in how I'm doing this. So I got one finger on the slide so that the pump's not going to fall back. I got my middle finger on the trigger, so in case somebody decides to get smart, I can just shoot them and start stalking up on them pretty much like this. I get up about 5 some odd feet behind their back guy, and I figure, okay, here's a good time to do this, and just calmly say, please surrender. The other player turns around, looks at me, looks at the gun, kind of looks at my armband, then kind of goes, hey guys, there's a dude behind you. At which point, it's now go time. Chit-check, 1, 2, 3, and when I get to the guy who I asked to surrender and didn't, I shot him only once. Right in the back of the neck, right here. Now this dude gets in my face and starts screaming at me about how much of an I am, how much of a cheater I am. He was spouting about the rules. Oh, if you're within 10 feet, you can't shoot. And I'm saying, dude, I gave you the opportunity to surrender. You spoke. You told your team what was going on. I figured you were still alive. The rest of his team wasn't very happy about this either, because he lit us up in the back from point blank range. It was 1 shot per person at 15 feet away. It ended up they complained so loud and so hard about it. The field owner asked me what was going on. When I explained to him exactly what happened, he's like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, I'll deal with it, no problem. So what I'm getting at with this story is that one guy can do a lot of damage. It's still a team game, like I said, but you get one guy who knows what he's doing, just let him loose and you'd be surprised what he can do. And actually, I would love to see paintball re-embrace the lone wolf mentality. Yeah, it's not for everybody, but it can be part of the larger structure of how the game works. And people who wear ghillie suits don't count. That's not the same thing, not at all. And if all of you guys were waiting for me to make that reference the entire show, congratulations, you have not been disappointed.